Guys, it's not easy to build confidence, especially if you are struggling in this area. It can seem like a real hard journey to find the confidence that you really want. A lot of the time, when we have low confidence, it could be for a number of things. In my experience, when I had low confidence, it was because of my issues that I had within my childhood, coming from childhood trauma, not knowing how to build my confidence and stuff. I found myself in a lot of situations later in life that didn't really help me. I found that I couldn't assert myself with people in saying no to things that I didn't like. I couldn't, go after the things that I wanted to do in terms of, trying new things and different things. It took me a little bit of a while to get there in terms of finding my confidence and also building my self esteem. If you find yourself in this position, I want to encourage you today that where you are right now, with how you feel about yourself, the confidence that you may have to do things, it's not always the place where you're going to be. It does take time to build your confidence, but you can start today to build your confidence in small steps. I want to share with you some things that really helped me. The first thing that really helped me was starting to learn to say no in everyday situations. Now, for me, this was a really big deal because, as I mentioned, going through childhood sexual abuse, having my boundaries overrode by my father all the time, not having my voice heard, being constantly violated meant that I could not find the power to say no. After all, I was a 9-year-old girl when my abuse started, and it didn't end until I was 13 when I was taken into care. So my father overrode my boundaries, my personal boundaries, for a long time. How that affected my life is that as I started to go through teen years and 20s, I found that I couldn't say no in everyday situations. I felt bad for saying no. And I had to learn to say no to small things. And it's going to sound really silly, but saying small no's to things like, if somebody would ask me, an assistant in the shop, do I want, for example, pepperoni on my pizza? I would say no. If somebody would ask me to go somewhere, I would say no. And those small everyday no's helped me to have the confidence to build into bigger no's, especially when it came to people that I had in my life at the time who were taking advantage basically because they could see I struggled with confidence. They saw that I struggled with, saying no and was uncomfortable in voicing that. But saying no in everyday situations really did help me a lot. The next thing I want to encourage you to do to build your confidence and to get those small wins is to find something that you like to do. What things do you enjoy spending your time on? What things would you like to spend your time on? What things did you feel that you or do you feel that you may enjoy? I would say to spend time on those things, your hobbies, things that you're passionate about. In engaging in those things in a way that you're comfortable will help you to build confidence, because as you do those things that you love to do, it helps to bring up your self-esteem. It helps to bring up your confidence. And once you can develop that in the area of the things that you like to do, then you can take that with you into other areas. The next thing I want to say to you is to celebrate your wins. Yes, it is very hard to build confidence, but when you've had a breakthrough in this area, you need to celebrate it. You might want to take yourself out for a nice coffee. You might want to write it in your journal. Do something to mark the occasion. I remember back years ago, when I first started to attend church, I used to be the type of person who would sit right at the back. I wouldn't say a word to anybody. I didn't talk to anybody. I'm talking like in my 20s and, up until my early 30s. I didn't really talk to anybody at all. If somebody would have asked me to go up to the front of the church and share my story or share my testimony or share something to encourage somebody, I would look on them like they were crazy, because there's just no way I would ever do that. But, fast forward years later now, by the grace of God, I've been able to do over 100 different talks. I've done a TEDx talk. I've wrote books. I I'm a content creator. I speak on social media and on other platforms as well. If you would have told me all those years ago that I would be able to do that, I would have said I've never believed you. But here I am today doing that, and it all started from me taking that little step, having that small confidence to do that. And then once seeing that I managed to have that little breakthrough, I celebrated. I celebrated every single step I did in order to become a better speaker, every public speaking event I did. And that is what you need to do. You need to celebrate those successes that you have. It may not mean much to anybody else, because this is your personal battle. This is your personal journey to becoming a more confident person. But if you want to become a more confident person, I would encourage you just to find small steps of things that you can start to do. And remember, it's about just doing them and consistently doing them. It's not about the size of them. But if you do that each and every day, I tell you, you will definitely build your confidence. So take those small steps today.